Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about how the divisions and conferences are set up in a hockey for beginners type video. We're going to be doing playlist of this and then just periodically adding over time to it. So before we start, please make sure to like and subscribe, and also let's just get on into it. So you look at this, and if you are a beginner for hockey, first thing that's the most important is how many teams are there? There's 32 teams. How do they break it up? The biggest thing they do is they break it up by conference. There are two conferences. One is the Eastern Conference, and then the second one is the Western Conference. I know, crazy, really hard to remember. But it is something that has been like this since 1994. There was a name before that, but this is how it's been since 1994, so this is just something that you would have to know. Your team that you would like, or multiple teams, may be in different regions. We'll have to see for you, but that's just how it's broken down. Now, the other thing is, it is broken down, the whole league itself is broken down into 4 divisions, and there are 2 divisions in each conference. So, there are 8 teams in each division. Remember, that's in a conference, 2 divisions in each conference, and then 4 divisions in the entire league. And this is a year that we are going to have even divisions around the league, as Seattle became the 32nd NHL team, and they're making things nice and even and perfect. And for the first time in a long time, the league is in a really good spot for this. Let's just hope they don't screw it up and add any more teams. So let's talk about the divisions and how they're set up. So, the divisions are called the Atlantic, Central, Metropolitan, although people usually call it the Metro for short. And then also you have the Pacific. These have been in place since the 2013-14 season, and they just really haven't changed since then, besides the year of COVID. Obviously, last year, teams in Canada couldn't play outside of Canada till like the playoffs came around or something like that. So they basically had to, change the divisions for the year. But they're back to normal, and we're going to talk about all those teams that are in the divisions. And what I want to say is, we're going to have to talk about what divisions are in each conference. So the first thing that here is that the Eastern Conference houses the Atlantic and the Metropolitan. Again, we call that the Metro for short. Most people do. So in the Atlantic, you have the Boston Bruins, the Buffalo Sabres, the Detroit Red Wings, the Florida Panthers, the Montreal Canadiens, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. That right there has got some really traditional, historic teams. The Atlantic has got, Boston, Montreal, Toronto, those are just, and Detroit. I mean, that's legendary right there. Then in the Metropolitan, you have it's kind of like metro area, but also there's some spread to it. You have the Carolina Hurricanes, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the New Jersey Devils, the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Washington Capitals. Now, moving over, after we talked about the East with the Atlantic and the Metro, you have the Western Conference, and then the divisions that are in there are the Central and the Pacific. And in the Central, you have Arizona, Chicago, I should say their names too, Arizona Coyotes, Chicago Blackhawks, Colorado Avalanche, Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild, Nashville Predators, St. Louis Blues, and Winnipeg Jets. That is in the Central. And then in the Pacific, you have the Anaheim Ducks, the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, the Los Angeles Kings, the Seattle Kraken, the San Jose Sharks, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Vegas Golden Knights. And that is basically all of it right there. Although I just wanted to say one more important thing, and that is a heads up. Arizona is back in the Central for the first time since 1998, although I don't really know if you'd consider it the same thing, but they had to move because Seattle's arrival allowed for there to be 32 teams, but obviously you had 7 teams in one division and 8 in another. They had to move one over because Seattle is right on the coastline. They were bound to be in the Pacific. Came down to Vegas, Arizona, and they ended up choosing Arizona to move on over there. So that's why if you would go back to even the normal division 2 years ago, you would realize, hey, this is kind of funky. Why are they in the Central instead of the Pacific? It's because Seattle came on in and somebody had to move on over. So yeah, that is all for the video. If you are new, obviously, hopefully you watch more of my videos. And just in general, everybody, please make sure to like and subscribe. You have a great day. You go low hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.